Is this thing on? Is it on? Am I live? Yes, I am. Tell everybody Outlaw Radio is here tonight on a Monday. Another episode of Outlaw Radio live from the basement. My name is Kevin Barnes. I am the mayor of Chocolate City, the architect of the People's Network, as well as the People's News Network. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Come on in, hit like, hit share, hit follow. Do whatever you can do to support a voice that is basically an echo of your own. We'll get into why I said that as we go along. Welcome to the show. I know I was a little late, but I just, nowadays, maybe it's age. I just take my time. I take my time with whatever I'm doing. I'm in no particular hurry, right? So it is Outlaw Radio. People ask me all the time in this day and age in which everybody has a podcast. There's literally an industry built on top of podcasting, whether it be purchasing the equipment or user interfaces and all kinds of, digital audio mechanisms. It's an industry now, and it wasn't the same when I started, but I'm glad that I was ahead of the curve. So people say you have a podcast. What is it about? I say Outlaw Radio is about Black people. And they look confused a lot of times, and they say, well, okay, what about Black people? What do y'all talk about? And I say Black people stuff. If it's important to us, if it's something relevant to real life, then we have these conversations. The thing is, a lot of people just aren't privy to it. So if you're not actually a foundational Black American or connected to someone who is, then you'll probably never really be privy to the things that we actually talk about. I'm not talking about what they say we talking about. I'm talking about what we want to talk about. What's important to us? Especially if you are a man of my age. I'm not ashamed to admit I'm an old warhorse. I'm 48 years old. I'm damn near 50.
Damn!
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And very proud ain't even the word. Grateful is. I'm grateful to God that I was able to live this long. Because the truth is, at one point they told me 19 and a half years was my life expectancy. And so I beat that. I beat that. And so that's why we do Outlaw Radio, because I feel like the things that Black people talk about and how we feel, really, really how we feel, really what's important to us, they're never discussed on watered down corporate-owned platforms, i.e. the mainstream media, in particular our Chitlin Circuit mainstream media here in the city of Milwaukee. I ain't gonna step on no toes. I got the witch doctor with me here on a Monday night. I don't want to. I know. What's popping with you, man? How you doing?
Hey, man, life is what's popping. How y'all doing out there? Welcome to Outlaw Radio, where we talk that talk, and we definitely walk that walk. Raising vibrations and elevating thought. Y'all better come on in. I'm trying to tell you, I am the Black woman lover, the Black man's brother, the culture, teacher, hood healer, the ghetto witch doctor. Hey, mama, that got to see Y'all better come on in. It's almost flu season. Start working on your immune system. So come on into the House of Vitality and get your elderberry tea or elderberry syrup.
Yeah, you got to fight the beast, man. You got to fight the beast, which is the elements, right? And so with the threat of whatever manufactured entity of COVID they've released at this juncture, you really got to take your measures to do something naturally, because they sell us medication and cures and antihistamines and antidepressants and all kinds of man-made manufactured remedies for anything that ails us. But damn near all this shit's bad for you. It's just gonna give you a different problem.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes the natural way is the only way. Like, right? You really gotta figure out how do this machine work. Hit us up, man. We got a number attached to this show, 262-202-5131. And there's a chat room associated. You can catch this on Facebook, on my government name, Kevin Barnes. On my page, we have an Outlaw Radio page. We have a People's Network page. We have Chocolate City. We have the People's News Network, which a lot of y'all rock with and don't even know it. That is our sister group. Shout out to the moderators. Shout out to the individuals that are top contributors, man. I'm very appreciative of the support. So hit us up. Get into the conversation, man. Get into the conversation. We're on Mondays and Wednesdays, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time until whenever we choose to cut the machine off, because quite simply, we own the machine. That's what it is. So we cut it on when we want to, and we cut it off when we want to. Listen. Early, I see my cousin Mariah Johnson in the chat room. She says, "Good evening, family." Mariah, condolences, prayers. You already know. So let's right now dedicate this show to the memory of my cousin, Stephen Pfeiffer, right? Who was murdered by the police down in New Orleans. Let's dedicate this to cuz. And I feel like I probably should have done this, earlier. But since Mariah is here, I definitely want her to understand the sentiment coming from our family. So rest in peace to cuz. Good dude, stand-up dude. Nothing but love you see expressed for him. So yeah, dedicated to Stephen Pfeiffer. Love cousin, love family, right? Man, chat room popping. I see Ewok in the building. He says, "Yo, bros, what up, Ewok?" Jermaine Anderson chiming in from New Orleans, Louisiana, or Shreveport, I should say. I'm sorry. He's formed the Tenant Union Association down there. He's talking about the meeting they're gonna have tomorrow on Zoom. I don't know how many people actually are listening from Shreveport, Louisiana, but if you are, there's some information for you. Dion, he said, "What up, what up, what up?" Mariah says, "Much love always." Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. I should say, yes, ma'am. Cousin. Mark Ross, what it do, my brother? How you doing? He said, "Good evening, brothers." What up, Mark? What up, Mark? I feel like we got a special guest now because he don't be here like often, but when you catch him, you catch him. My brother Fonzarelli, what it do, man? How you doing tonight?
Man, happy to be here, man. I finally finished out my leadership program. I had a presentation I had to do today, so
okay,
that's finally knocked out the way. So got that square that we had to present to the big wigs and shit. So it felt good to get credibility and accolades from that. But yeah, just happy to be here, man. Just trying to finish this year strong. Publish my children's book now, teaching children emotional intelligence. So hopefully by the first of the year, I'll be able to leverage that to get into some of these schools and maybe talk to some of these children about getting their mind right.
So you're actually in the process now of publishing a children's book. Is it published now or
yeah, it's published. Yeah.
How do the people get it? How do
it's to the House of Vitality.
Oh, yeah, I at the House of Vitality as well.
You can come to the House of Vitality.
Okay.
And get all three of his books.
Another reason, right? Okay.
Hey, my bag real. It was just the perfect time to throw the plug in.
Right. You ain't wrong, man.
Brother's gonna work it out. Like I said, man, welcome back to the show. Welcome back, Real. We're only on 2 times a week. And so normally when we kind of adjourn on Wednesdays, we're not going to come back till Monday. So I always have to start the show off on Mondays by talking about our weekend. So I want to run it around the bend. Kamar, how was your weekend?
My weekend was good. It was nice and relaxing, man. Listen, actually, I had a hell of a weekend.
Okay.
I had a hell of a weekend. I don't know if anybody saved my post Saturday or Sunday. You know what I'm saying? But let me tell you, man, I did my shrooms Sunday. Oh my goodness.
Well, hold on now. Let's get some clarity. You said you did your shrooms, meaning you took some shrooms.
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to be clear. Like, was he growing them or?
Yeah, I did the damn thing, man. I did the damn thing for the first time, but I'm gonna tell you, I liked it.
Oh, that was your first time?
Yeah. I mean, what I got out of it, right? years ago, I did ecstasy, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Hey, it was very similar to that feeling. You know what I mean? And I said then, I said, you know what? I feel like maybe ecstasy was meant to mimic that. Then you think, like, wait, it is a psychedelic. You know what I mean? So I guess it would create some of the same feelings, but I could tell the difference. You know what I'm saying? From the shroom and the pill what I had years ago. I could tell the difference, but it was just similar still. I felt like I wasn't hallucinating. I ain't getting I ain't had no hallucinations and no shit like that, man. But my body just felt good. You know
You
what
know
I'm
what?
saying?
You know
Like
what?
I think,
You know what
huh?
I love? You know what I love about this conversation is that I opened up by saying Outlaw Radio is about conversations that are pertinent to Black people. So ironically, the first conversation is about him taking mushrooms. Y'all come on in, share the show.
Pertinent
Share
to
the
Come
show.
black
on in,
people.
come on
It
in.
help them get their
Hey, I'm
mind
gonna tell
right.
you, this is something that's been big in the Black community recently too.
Okay. I hear about people saying microdosing, which I don't
Yeah.
necessarily
You know,
understand.
microdosing, Real probably could tell you about it better, but I could talk about what I know or what I've learned about it. You know what I mean? The microdosing, they say that's beneficial. That's how you just get the medicinal benefits
Okay.
from
Okay.
it.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
it's pretty dope. It's like microdosing is usually like 0.5 grams or less. Maybe up to a gram. Usually about a gram. You gonna feel good. You might have like that HD vision. It makes shit seem like it's an HD. But but then usually they say like 3.5 grams. Then you get into the like heroes dose where you might get to having visuals and stuff like that. But they doing a lot of research, finding a lot of promising things in regards to psilocybin. It helps what is it? Neurogenesis, so it helps regrow nerves. It help the sheath that goes on nerves, like the insulator of a cable, is called the myelin sheath.
Hmm.
That a lot of people who have fibromyalgia deal with that pain and shit
Yeah,
is because they nerves be short circuiting because it's like exposed wires. So
yeah. I do know
psilocybin
about
is
that.
good for neurogenesis, but for anyone who wants to have those benefits without the trip, they also say lion's mane mushroom has some of the
Yeah,
same benefits.
yeah.
there you
Lion's
go.
mane
You heard it
mushroom,
first
really
here.
good for you.
I see. Let me get to the chat room, y'all. We want to keep up tonight. Ajamu Butler, how you doing, my brother, Mr. Hill of Hood in the chat room?
Peace,
He said,
family.
I love the power in using magic mushrooms.
Hey.
Ewok said, man, first time I ate shrooms, white boy gave me too much. I was high for a month. Ajamu says, magic definitely is known to help build a nervous system. Dion, he
Mhm.
said, wow, so what's wrong with the crack again or just pure cocaine?
It's
I
that
don't know.
though.
We'll leave
Well,
that to you.
just look,
We
my
leave that to
experience,
Dion. Let him figure that out. Tell
even
us about that.
with the mushrooms, a long time ago in like the late 1990s when I was in undergrad, I did actually eat some mushrooms, but it was too psychedelic for me. But
Yeah.
for me, I was like, you know what? I don't really ever need to be this high. Like it was a different kind of because we chief. I came up, we chief. We came up during the chronic era. So we roll big gorilla blunts, right? Like for no reason, which I've later
Yeah.
found out that that's just stupid. But that's what we used to do and have like 8, 9 of them, right? But the one time that I did eat them,
Yeah.
I said I will never do this again because it was like too much. It was like you talking about the HD vision. That's why I laughed because to me it was like everything looked far away.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then it was just
Waving like this and
it was all that. It was all
shit.
that. And then it was the uncontrollable laughter at the dumbest thing. Like it was, I said, no, I'll never do it again. And I never did that shit again. I'm
I
not.
had some shit called Thrasher. Well, I had the shit called like Penis Envy, but the Thrasher shit, man, my whole lower body was like buzzing. Like that's when I didn't dig that, but I couldn't stop laughing and shit. But I really didn't feel I didn't
Hey
like
man,
that my lower body was buzzing.
hey, you know what commercial had us laughing like a motherfucker though?
There you go. And which
That
one
one
was it?
commercial with Will Ferrell when he said, "Oh,
See,
I'll pay with you anywhere." Dog, that shit was funny as a
see,
motherfucker.
that's that shit. See,
You
one thing
laughing and
about listen,
crying at the same
I
time.
never wanted. I don't like to be. I don't like to be incapacitated. Like, okay, so even with like people talk about edibles, right? Like for me, I don't like that because once you eat it, and it's like you can't. There's no. You're gonna have to ride that whole trip out, and you just incapacitated. So I've never really. That's why I never did no pills or drank no lean, like none of that shit. Like I never did any of that. And I damn sure would never do cocaine. And even though shout out to the homies, right? I found out later on that motherfuckers was living like Superfly and shit. I didn't know motherfuckers was sugar booger aficionados. But yeah, man, listen. The moral of this story is if you're dealing with something, a pain, an ache, especially when it comes to mental things like depression and all this kind of stuff, sometimes a little bit of alteration does you good. But what you got to be aware of is some people have addictive personalities.
Right.
Meaning once they do that shit one time, they seeking the next better shit on a daily basis for the next 5 years. So young people call it crashing out, right? And it's they just out of bounds for 5 years. So you have to be careful sometimes in how we tell people, hey, you're hurting, smoke some weed. For you, it's just some weed. For him, it might be like, oh, my introduction to crack. So we gotta be careful, man. And I say that because I realized that we at a young age, and Kamar, you know this to be true because I've known you for a very long time. We were as young as we were, the amount of alcohol we drank and the amount of weed we smoked was abnormal. Like you wasn't supposed to do it like that. Like so, and all my homeboys didn't last. Like I actually got some partners with some real serious, chemical dependency issues. So, and we just kicking it. This is what we do. But you didn't think that his personality and his mental makeup was set up to the point where he's like, no, Kev, I got to have more. I never needed more. I'm like, man, last night was crazy. Like I was always good. Never like, oh, we got to get higher. We got to get higher. Hey, let's take some magic. Like that's why I never took X or none of that shit. Because I'm like, nah, I'm cool.
With mushrooms, though, it's one of those things that, like, not only will you not get addicted to form a habit, like for me, the times I've tried it, I'll be like, I ain't never got to do this shit again. Like, I'll be okay with it. But then I might, down the line, be like, you know what, I'll be out in the garden, But no, it's,
but even in introduction, okay. So I hear what you're saying. That substance in itself may not be
it kind of repel you.
But it's for me, it's opening up the possibilities, right? Like so
Right.
They say alcohol breaks down your inhibitions, right? Drugs give you somewhat of an outer body experience. And depending on what kind of drugs you do, the level is higher. That's why you hear Aaron Rodgers talking about I took ayahuasca. That shit is next level, straight up crazy. I floated around the world and the universe in my spirit self high. I don't want to be that high. And
some people don't do it to be high, they do it to find themselves. Like I got a friend who was just telling me about a DMT trip where he, and the way he explained it, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I see. I see. That ain't nothing I want to do. But like, unfortunately now, I don't know if y'all on TikTok and shit like that, but now these kids is finding it's some shit that I guess it flavors whipped cream. But it's nitrous oxide. It's cans of flavored nitrous oxide.
They huffing.
Yeah, they basically huffing.
They've been huffing. Yeah, they've been huffing.
So now that's the new thing. Especially like I've been seeing the videos from like the South, and you could buy it at a regular store, and they kind of advertise it like that old K2 Spice shit, like how it said not for inhalation, but they knew what people was doing. This is like not for inhalation, but here go every flavor for you.
Right. Ajamu says peace and love, family. How you doing, my brother? Ajamu will be on. He said he hit us up. He said he wanted to come on and chop it up with us. I can't remember the date. But if you rock with Ajamu,
16th.
I can't remember. Come on, I have to go look. I know because I know you was on the thread. Dion said, I'm just wondering. He said he banged his arm. You banged your arm. I don't know what that means, Dion. Then he said no drug is worse than the other. I mean, I think there are some drugs that are worse than others. I think heroin is worse than marijuana. I think acid is worse than marijuana. I think there's a whole class of drugs that are worse than marijuana.
If you don't do no drugs,
simply because of the physical part. So like heroin, that creates a dependency where you actually get sick if you don't do it. I'm not gonna be sick, shivering, nodding off, throwing up if I don't get no weed. I'm just not. It's not gonna happen.
It don't work like that.
Right. And I've never sold anything to get some weed. Like I've did some trades. Like, hey man, you know, but not no. Oh shit, let me grab a VCR and go give me a quarter ounce of weed. Like it's so physically, it's not as bad, and then mentally, my mind is not. It's not addicted to it like that. Like it didn't become mental for me. It became like, okay, this is extracurricular. It's no different than playing a video game.
You know, alcohol is a drug.
Absolutely, one of the worst ones.
What I mean, like a lot of people do one thing and not the other, and then say like something worse than the other or whatever. You know what I mean? But shit, we all got something we do that ain't right. You might smoke cigarettes. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no telling it. That shit ain't good for you either. That's fucked up. One would say nicotine is worse than weed. One would say nicotine could be worse than cocaine or whatever. But you know what I mean? Different strokes for different folks.
The worst drug in the world, the most damaging one that we're all addicted to is sugar.
Yeah.
Right.
So when anybody want to criticize me,
and that could be worse than all.
And it's peddled to children.
Right. Yeah.
The whole planet is strung out on this shit. This is the coldest thing going. Now, Dion, I'm glad you called in because I really didn't understand your last comment. Maybe you can elaborate on this. What's going on with you?
What you talking about when I said I banged my arm?
Well, there was that, and
that
then
means shoot up. That's bang. When you bang, you shoot up.
You shot
I
up.
was being sarcastic.
Oh, okay.
I don't use no drugs.
Okay.
Then I said I want to smoke some pussy hair. Put some pussy hair on your weed. But
well, hold on. Let's stop right there. Hold on. Don't move on from that. Don't be like, and then I said, let's go back to that statement. What context? Because me and you got to talk in context now, because last show,
I was being sarcastic.
Okay, because I was about to say I don't understand the reference. Okay. This is not the newest form of weed. Ain't nobody said, Kev, I got the finest weed and it's called pussy hair. You want to smoke some? No, nobody said that. So,
but on the up and up though, guys, drugs is a drug, regardless if it's made. And see, that's the thing. We had this conversation before. I feel like society has basically excused the usage of marijuana, because we see so many rappers and hip hoppers and back in because I started smoking weed and Dre came out. I don't understand what you're saying.
What about ibuprofen? That's a drug. Like it's all kind of drugs. But for some reason we feel like ibuprofen is.
I wanted to hear him elaborate on this because his perspective is it's different. So let us hear him out on this because I want to know his theory on this. You saying drugs because you said a drug is drugs. That's how you started this out, and I'm like, damn, I want to hear the rest of this.
I feel like a drug is a drug, and we make excuses for the drug because it's like the end thing. You understand? Like everyone smokes weed, but I believe that if cocaine was a popular drug. Because back in the 90s, not the 90s, back in the late 70s and early 80s and 90s, before it switched over to crack, cocaine was a party drug. Like if you snorted cocaine, you was the man. You feel what I'm saying? And then when they start cooking into crack, it kind of gave it a stigma, like, you smoke crack, but you snort cocaine. And then so when the weed thing came out, we made an exception for marijuana usage, but it was still all a drug because marijuana, and I'm not going to say for everybody, but sometimes marijuana does give someone, it makes them less ambitious. It inhibits them from being motivated because I remember back when I used to smoke weed. And then you smoke weed, I used to go to work and I'd be like, fuck this job, I don't need this job. That was years ago. But I'm just saying that's the mentality that it gave me. And also if you look at the stages of marijuana through the years, we had Reggie, we had Hiawatha, we had Acapulco Gold, we had Sesame. We was always, we put hash on the weed, we rolled our blunts inside out, we soaked them in Hennessy, we did all type of things, put honey on them. We always was doing things just to chase the next high. And then they came out with this, the weed that has the higher concentration of THC, like the Loud and the Perp and the Diesel and the Moon Rock. So to me, is not everyone, but some people started off smoking weed, then they put a little Momo on it, you know what I'm saying? put a little Momo on it, to get them nice and fresh.
I think that's what I just said. I think I just said that was one of the dangers of even encouraging people to experiment, because some people have addictive personalities and they don't have boundaries. But let me say this to your whole argument. So what if a drug is a drug? Well, hold on. Let's say this. Hold on. Listen to me.
Go back to what I was saying too.
What up? So what if weed is a drug? So what? So do you need? I feel like drugs are the natural way to go to stay fair. It's a way to get a reaction out of your body because you take them to feel better.
The doctor gives us drugs every day,
right? And we take them. We say, "Oh, take them."
Nobody say shit about them drugs, and they fucking us up for real.
Yeah.
Do the research on that versus weed, Dion. Tell me what you get. Hey, do the research on what the drugs what the doctor give you versus weed and the effects on what it do to our bodies.
I can definitely say I don't have an argument for that one right there. I don't have an argument for that one.
I mean, no, I'm just saying because you're using the word.
Though. You know what I mean? The pharmaceuticals, they get us to look at this shit, the medicinal shit fucked up. You know what I mean? And then we look at they shit like it's all good.
But you Dion, you're using the word drug. I just want to talk about, because I'm into specifics. Some of y'all is macro. I'm micro. The word drug. It now you talking about negative connotation. It definitely has one. But as soon as you ain't feeling good, or some is hurting, or even like my brother said, when a doctor tells you, hey, your endocrine is fucked up, take this drug to help you, you'll take it. So let's not say drugs. So let's not say drugs like all drugs are bad. There are some good drugs. There's
I'm going to speak for myself. I'm going to speak for myself. I'm going to say maybe in the last 5 or 6 years, I started taking man-made drugs, because I didn't take them when I got older enough. Like when my grandfather and them, they'd give me something for treated cold or whatever. But once I got older, I just didn't take man-made medications. I didn't believe in it. And still to this day now, I rarely, I ain't going to say 100%, but I say about maybe 65%. If I'm dealing with something, you know what I'm saying, I just try to deal with it, because I just don't want to deal with no man-made drugs. You know what I'm saying?
You eat sugar though.
Yes, I'm about to go in Baskarados right now as we speak. Go get me a motherfucking Sunday.
Sugar is acknowledged, not even just coming from me. Sugar is acknowledged as one of the worst drugs on the planet. Sugar.
It's almost identical to cocaine.
And it's worse. And the effects of it, Kamar, they say in a lot of instances are worse, especially amongst Black people, because we have these over-exercised pancreases that short out, because it's always fight or flight from the day you hit this planet. And then you end up with diabetes, in which you can't process the sugar anymore, but it's sugar in everything. So you gonna do it?
I agree with you on that. I agree with you. Because today I asked my girl, I said, which one would you rather? Like me, if it has to come down to it being a vegetarian and giving up sugar, I think I'll probably be a vegetarian, because I ain't all. I love me some sweet. And, I used to drink. I wouldn't call myself an alcoholic, but I used to drink a lot. So when I stopped drinking, I love me some sweets, because when you drink a lot, you really don't deal with sweets at all, because alcohol, I can't be off no Tanqueray and go get a Snicker bar. I'll be, sick as a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I can't do that. Hold on, I'm gonna put y'all on mute real quick while I order my motherfucking ice cream sundae.
There you go. There you go. Get your fix. Get your fix. What my man say? I'm your mother. I'm your daddy. I'm that nigga in the alley. I'm your pussy man. Ewok says cigarettes more addictive than heroin. I believe that.
Motherfuckers stand outside in the freezing motherfucking cold and smoke
below. Talking about
right.
I'm paying $12 for a box of Newports right now. It's real in the field. What are you talking about? Jeff Crape, what it do, man? What it do down in Texas by way of the 414? I should say via the 414. Grew up right on 16th and B Brands, block away from me. And we went to King together, and we played ball together. So shout out to Jeff. Mama Jenkins, how you doing tonight? She said, good evening, my Outlaw family. Real, welcome back to the family. She said on tomorrow, the hotspot is up once again for license, and the word on the street is he's now passing it off to a black woman from Racine. I'm sure Sean or Vince have more information on this. Ironically, Mama Jenkins, Vince and I had a very long conversation about this at the previous hearing, in which he shifted the ownership over and said, so the original owner, who's been under so much fire, basically got into the meeting, and he's teamed up with the sister Andrea Pratt, who's the alderman over there. And so I guess they came up with this thing where he's gonna relinquish the license and pass them off to someone else. So in essence, the store stays open, and the license will be renewed. So Vince actually called me and told me that, and he also told me that she was walking around telling those individuals from the community who were there, Sean Moore included, "Oh, this is straight. He ain't gonna even try to get them no more. Y'all can leave." And then she came up with, "Well, they got new owners after they was gone." That's what Vince told me. Now that's what Vince told me. So that's the gully on the hot spot. Yeah. Vince will hit me. I will give Vince Tony one thing. I might not talk to Vince for a while, but he will inbox me with some shit. Like, "Kevin, let's look at this." And then he'll call me and talk to me for like 2 hours, and then I'll hear from him for like 2 months. So shout out to Vince Tony. He rocks with Outlaw Radio, though. He does. Jeff said, "Damn, Kev, I can challenge you and got a question." Okay. Saying speak, Kamar. Jeff is in the mix in the conversation. He said, "I can keep it in the chat." So if a person takes PEDs, are they cheating because you won't? Absolutely. Listen, that's a great question. That's a great question, because during the old time that I played college football, I never took a PED. Never did. I never took a steroid. I didn't have to. I knew individuals who did, but I wasn't mad at them for doing it. I'm like, well, yeah, that's what you got to. Right. In order to survive. I didn't have to. Thank God. I actually didn't. And no coach even ever came to me and said, like, "Yo," they might say, "Kev, in the winter when we go into the weight room, we want you to work on this area from here to here," or whatever. They'll tell you, you got to work on taking on double teams more. That might mean you need to work on your squats. But nobody ever said, you need to go get a shot in your ass. So yeah, if you're taking PEDs, you are cheating, and that is a drug. See, drugs have all different kinds of function. Like, we will lump this shit in and say drugs, and then your grandmama got to get her medicine, and man, take your medication. Like, so, this drugs. It's not necessarily when you say drugs mean it's bad. Meaning, if you are suffering from depression or you are anorexic, and you can hit some marijuana and it'll cheer you up, or you'll get an appetite, I would much rather you do that than go and take an antidepressant, a Xanax or something. You know what I mean? To me, one makes more sense than the other. Unless that weed you smoking introduce you to powder. Like 2 weeks. What Prince say?
Is your fault.
What Prince say in Sign of the Times? "In September, my cousin tried reefer for the very first time. Now he's doing horse. It's June."
And in that case, it's your fault.
Well, it's your person.
You still made that decision to smoke the cocaine.
With most of the drugs that are illegal now, not only did they start off as legal, they started off being pushed by doctors, or how Dion was talking about cocaine in the 70s. In like the 20s and 30s, the dock workers used to be given cocaine by their managers because it decreased their appetite and gave them energy. Yeah. So then what happened is, when they made it illegal, that's when they had to go to the streets for it. But even with cocaine, I believe they said Sigmund Freud used to prescribe it to his patients and was a cocaine, so
he was all fucked up.
Yeah, so
that's why they used to put it in Coca-Cola. That's where the name come from.
Exactly.
Coca.
With a coca leaf and then it was some kind of nut, the cola nut. Yeah.
Yeah. So listen,
coke in the fire hole.
But look, even if you understand this, the war on drugs in America, especially when it comes to the black community, is a contrived campaign. If you know about Henry J. Anslinger and you know about J. Edgar Hoover, I always call him J. Edgar Hoover. I mean J. Edgar Hoover. If you know about what they actually did in terms of creating this monstrosity of a drug war, because minorities were the ones who were like, this is what they utilized to build up further hatred towards us. And so when you say to scare white people in the South, if these niggas start smoking this weed, they're gonna want to play jazz and do up white women. You know, the South wasn't having that. So the whole anti-drug, all that shit, the drug laws, all that shit is bullshit. Now, I'm not saying free everything legal. I'm not, because I do understand that when you become an individual who is in control of a substance that's bringing death, murder, people are your neighborhood, the quality of your community is slipped, children are being directly affected by it, then you should face prosecution, because that in itself is antisocial behavior. I don't give a fuck how many people OD. I'm going to keep selling this shit. And so that's when drugs get bad. But like I said, if you scratching an itch with a substance, do it. If shrooms keep you from fucking freaking out, shooting everybody in the YMCA, go do some mushrooms.
How about them honey packs?
Well,
what you know about them honey packs?
Well, you know what I know is for older men whose hearts are starting to get weak, that you should not take honey packs.
Well, the honey pack has Cialis in it.
Yes.
So that honey pack, it has erectile dysfunction medicine in it. It it's Cialis. Look, and the one for the girls, it has Cialis in it. So now they're selling it over the counter, but it has shit you used to need a prescription for.
And listen, as a man, there's a lot of old men who've taken themselves out fucking with some Viagra or some of that shit. Ask your boy Kevin Samuels. He had some of that gas station shit. Put him down. Listen, to me, if you having a problem, go research, because there is natural things that you can do. Some of it might involve a lifestyle change, but there's things that you can do. But at a certain point, when it's over, it's over.
Damn.
Hey man, this motherfucker gone. So if you at that point, you still like, fuck that, I'd rather die, right? Then do that too. That's what I'm saying. But
you could get a dick implant.
Not up on that yet. I don't know. I ain't at that point in my life. Like, yeah, email me the brochure and shit. Like, I'm not. It's not where I'm at right now. I'm just saying. But I've in terms of research, I've looked and read, and they keep saying to me all across the board, hey, if that's an issue, there are natural things. Like there's conchs that they conch, the conchs that be in the shells. There's some in like Jamaica or somewhere in the islands where they say you take. The old dude was like 87 who was farming them. He said he had 17 kids. I said, so it's some shit like, if it mean that much to you, spend a little money, do some research, and invest in something. Don't just be taking that over the counter ass shit. That shit'll kill your ass.
They got horny goat weed powder.
I heard about that too. I've heard also it's also listen. Just do the research. That's all I'm saying. I don't want to get into a conversation about that on the show. That'll be an instant downer. Like, they was talking about erectile dysfunction on Outlaw Radio. Like, oh no, because we ain't got no websites for you to go to. He said, this is Jeff in the chat room. He's saying, see, that's what I'm saying. What if a dude ain't as gifted as you and they do some shit? I didn't. There were some dudes we played with that did that. I never knew who they was. Because if they was riled up to that point, I probably would have knocked the shit out of them in practice. Like, that shit ain't working, bro. You gotta get some better steroids. I'm not, as long as you riled up like that, like, yeah, come and get me. I'm hitting your ass all day. He said, come get him. He said, I ain't mad at them. They did what they needed. Well, they went and found a drug. If your blood pressure is high, listen, if your blood pressure is high, I just talked about natural remedies. That's cool too. But you got to get the doctor shit too. I feel like you got to at least start with some of that shit and some of the natural shit and move and progress towards, trying to get off of it totally. But damn, yeah, take your ass to the doctor. Don't be I'm taking broccoli seeds. That shit ain't gonna work, son. You go get you some pills, man. Go get you some drugs.
My niggas, I'm taking broccoli seeds.
Right. He said, this is T. Arsha. Shout out to T. Arsha. How you doing, sis? She said, good evening, Kevin, Kamar, and Rail, and the Outlaw family. He said, ephedra, I think I'm saying that right, was the shit when I was playing. Toradol was the shit in college for me. See, even in college, I didn't take shit. You know what I took a whole hell of a lot of in college, real?
We
And liquor. I drank a lot of liquor and smoked a lot of weed. I never even thought about no roid and no shit like that. We blew no Diddy. We chiefed damn near 18 hours out the day if we could. And that's what we did. We sipped and we drank.
And played football?
Like a motherfucker. Shit, coming home.
Well, you went out of breath?
Hell no. Hell no. That's what I'm saying. It ain't about what you do. It's about how you do it. No, I wasn't out of breath, or I wouldn't have been able to play football no more. You got to make.
So you would go smoke weed and get high and go out there and run on that motherfucking field.
Well, first of all, we practice and we train. So they don't just put you on the field and be like, not play. It's like a whole process, right? It gets you in shape. So no, it wasn't like we was fresh off a whole summer smoking blunts, didn't do nothing, and showed up and ball. Hell no, we went and lifted. We went to workouts. We did all kinds of shit. That's why I was always chiefing. Motherfucker be like, my arms sore, my legs sore, my back sore. Won't be sore after you hit this motherfucker. You know what, dog? I'm straight. I see y'all in the morning. That's what I'm saying. Motherfuckers singing for their lunch. Mama Jean said, speaking of drugs, Kamar, I need some detox and some elderberry tomorrow. She said, time to clean out like Castro. Oil like back in the day, castor oil back in the day, we had to take that shit when the season changed. Castor oil.
Man, that's it right there.
She said castor oil. I said Castro because it does say Castro, like Fidel. My bad. My mama done gave us some castor oil too. That shit was disgusting.
The devil made that shit, man. Woo. That's some horrible shit.
Mama Jenkins said back then we had some good weed. She said back in the days, they had some good weed. I know, man. I listen to 70s music all the time. Y'all had to be high. Come on, man. Like you almost need weed to listen to funk from the 70s, or you won't get it. You be like, what they talking about? You don't understand that shit till you blow. Like, you hear what he said? Not just knee deep. She was totally deep. Like that's some high shit. She said, and this is her saying, and she said, what's Frankenjohns? Is that what that means? Fr. Johns? What is that? He said, can't play pickup games with big ninjas during the summer. No pads, all real shit. No, we just worked out in the summer. We just worked. Like, if you there, what else you gonna do? You get up, you go into summer school, you get up, you go to class, you go lift, you go back to the crib, you play video games, you listen to music, drink, smoke all night, get up next day, do the same thing. So, you just work out. I was in shape, believe me. It wasn't no oh, coach, I can't finish this drill. If you don't get your ass out of here. Y'all know what? Dikembe Mutombo passed today.
Yeah.
Pete Rose, Chris Christopherson.
Who was the last person? I don't know him.
Chris Christopherson, I don't know. I grew up in the 70s. He's an old white dude. He's an actor. He was in Blade, actually. He was the what's the old white man named Whistler? He was Whistler in Blade.
But for real?
Yeah. But Chris Christopherson in the 80s was big time, and 70s. He was the one of the action dudes. Him and Charles Bronson and Clint Eastwood. But yeah, man, passing away, man. Passing away. That's why I appreciate life, man. That's why I be like,
hell yeah.
Man, I'd be happy, man. I'd be people talking about, hey, the world come to an end. I'd be like, hold on, bro. Hold on. Shit. Can I get to payday? At least when the rapture come, can it be on payday so I have enough gas to try and run? I mean, damn, people be negative, man. I'm just saying. Like,
they talking about a possible strike starting tomorrow on the docks and ports.
Yeah. I don't know. Is that what it is? Is it wages? Is it inflation is a problem? Yeah, inflation. Golly, man.
Yeah, but that's gonna make shit higher because everybody ain't gonna be working, and then they're gonna be trying to hire temp workers and all that shit.
It's definitely gonna back you up if you ordering anything, right? Because we that's where our shit, especially electronics, that shit coming from where? Japan, China. All them countries over there. Look on your label sometimes in your clothes and say made in Sri Lanka. I'm like, damn, what the fuck? She was made in Sri Lanka. Hey, and then y'all see what's going on down in Florida, man. Listen, man, prayers for the people down in Florida. Good Lord, that tropical storm that just hit through there. Because this be one of them times where I be wanting to talk shit to people who be bragging when they leave Milwaukee, and they be showing posts and shit when it's 87 degrees here, and it be like mid-December here. You be like, man, it's 42. They be making fun of your ass, but I'm not gonna be that petty. God bless them, man. Prayers with them. That I've been seeing stuff on Facebook. I'm like, whoa, like water coming in people's cribs and shit, and it's in Georgia too. Is Mississippi affected?
I think the Carolinas wasn't it?
Yeah, North Carolina. Yeah. Shout out to my niece and my nephew up there. Man. That's them storms, man. Listen.
Hell yeah. We felt that shit in Indiana because I went to Indiana and I was like, why in the I'm talking about when I say it was raining, I mean torrential rain. I'm like, why in the fuck is it raining like this in Indiana? You know, but that was like the backlash of the shit. You know what I'm saying? Not the full brunt, but you know, just the remnants of it. I was like, that shit crazy.
Man, God bless them people, man. I ain't even built for that kind of emergency right now. Like, I ain't built for that right now. I have no flotation devices or nothing. Like, motherfucker got to get. It's bad when you got to be on top of your house to get rescued. When you see people on top of buildings, like, wait, no help. It's like, damn. I was in a flood
that's
here.
When everybody's the same.
I was in a flood here probably about 6-7 years ago. That's the last big one I remember here in Milwaukee, where they admittedly, because we have this deep tunnel system that's supposed to keep sewage from backing up into your home, right? A lot of people don't know about this. And but they do have some gates. They have gates. So that means at Jones Island, when the tunnel system is flooded, they can open and close certain gates. And they were trying to avoid the suburbs, some suburban communities that were closer to the water from getting flooded. But the shit flooded the hood. It flooded the city. And that's the worst I've ever seen it. Like water that was like, I'm like, dude, you're looking at like a little river creek way that's supposed to, there don't be no water in there. This shit is up to the bridge that you're driving over on Hampton. I'm like, dude.
Oh yeah, somebody died on that foot, remember?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, so I can imagine
dude was
what
in that
that's
car,
like.
He died.
And then it was like people at the gas station. Everybody just pulled up on the gas station lot. Man, that's why I say shout out to the Blue Bomber, man. I had an old raggedy pickup truck. I used to call it the Blue Bomber. Man, that motherfucker got me through that bitch, bro. My brother laugh at me all the time, like, dude, you done had a million cars. You talk about the Blue Bomber with reverence. I'm like, dude, the adventures I had in the Blue Bomber, it was raggedy too, but man, that bring me home, man, every time. So yeah, shout out to them, man. Shout out to them. And I gotta say this. 8Ball and MJG got their own street in Memphis. Yeah. This is a great thing, first of all. But I want to say 8Ball and MJG does not get the credit they deserve for the music they put out. And I know it's one of them things where you say, well, you had to be there to understand it. But you can go back and listen now and be like, damn. First of all, MJG is one of the coolest MCs to ever rap on a microphone. I don't give a fuck if you from New York. I don't care if you from England. I don't care if you from Europe. MJG, and the most underrated. That dude, if you go back and listen to some of their music and listen to some of the stuff MJG says, I'm not knocking 8Ball. Yeah. I'm not knocking 8Ball because 8Ball have his moments. MJ was just bananas, just too crazy with it. And it's crazy that the best album they had is their most underrated one, which was their last album on Suave House, In Our Lifetime, Volume 1. That is one of the dopest hip-hop. And I'm talking about over Outkast. I'm even willing to put that album over almost any UGK album except for Riding Dirty. I would say that might be the only Southern album that's better than In Our Lifetime, Volume 1. That album is fucking ridiculous. And MJG is crazy on there. They went, and they was even, this ain't a good thing to say now, but at one point they was signed to Bad Boy.
Bad Boy South.
Right, when it was with Bad Boy, they was messing with Puffy. They got out the deal. So I hope it don't be no tapes released with 8Ball on it. Like I'm like, come on, 8Ball, come on. No, I don't think so. But because they got away from Puffy a long time ago. But man, I'm happy for them. And I wish hip hop got to the point where we was going back, really reviewing the greatest music. Because like if you play jazz, I think you should have to go and listen to, Bird. You know what I'm saying? I think you should have to go listen to Charlie Parker. I think you should have to go and listen to the greatest jazz players just to say, okay, what did they bring to the game? I think you should have to do that. Rap is different because these rappers come out now, they have no homage, no idea, unless they sampling a motherfucker song. They don't even look into what made the greatest, the people who we revere so much. They don't look into what made them so unique. What made him better than me? Well, first of all, you've never made a song without auto-tune. Let's start right there. Let's hear your real voice, Nick. So, but yeah, that's my rant on it. I'm just happy. 8Ball and MJG, man. So many songs, so many classics, so much. And like I say, if I can still play it today and that shit have my head still nodding like, man. And I'm still amazed at some of that shit MJG says to this day. Like, when I hear this dude, ain't nothing shaking but the leaves in the trees, young women needs but a fresh set of keys. I'm like, dude, this dude is fucking bananas. So yeah. I'm glad. Let's get real hip hop popping again, man. Did y'all see the rapper from here, Lil Frank? The dude who everybody used to make fun of and say he was gay or whatever, and I guess he had some steam on Instagram or something with some music, but he was drunk driving a stolen car and crashed into she wasn't even that old, she was older than him, an older white lady who was pregnant, and he killed both her and her unborn child.
Ooh, little Frank ass gone.
Yeah, he was convicted. He was the verdict came. He was convicted of murdering her and the child. And so he's football numbers. he's
That's sad.
Yeah, man, it's bad, man.
That's why you can't be out here drinking and driving.
That's why you gotta change your mindset. That savage shit is that savage shit, Dion. It's always funny to me when I hear you talk about what you used to do, when you talk about how you used to smoke weed or how you used to drink liquor, or how you used to sell drugs and all this kind of stuff. But you don't do none of that shit now, and you don't give yourself credit for making the transition. So you understand when you in that life, like Kamar always says, you made a decision. At one point, you had to say, hey, man, enough of this shit. I got to get my shit together.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's a decision you can make as well. Like, man, I can't be out here like this, man.
They all decisions.
Yeah, I ain't like being in prison. I ain't gonna lie to you. That shit
your decisions today gonna tell you about the peace you're gonna have tomorrow.
Or the war you're gonna have tomorrow.
Same thing.
Same.
Either or, you know what I mean? Either or.
Yeah. But sometimes you can be living incarcerated on the streets. And I'm saying that because, and I don't want brothers who've been actually incarcerated say, Kev, fuck what you talking about. You ain't been behind that wall, you don't get it. But if you think about it, you living in the community, but you boxed in from all sides because you got drama and beef and conflict and strife and fucking pressure and stress. Yeah, you can drive up and down the street, but you boxed in. Your mind is already incarcerated. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel you on that. I feel you. It was like yesterday, right, with me and my girl, we was coming from Indiana and we driving through Chicago. And I'm just looking at it. You know what I'm saying? And like I think we always had this argument, me, you, and Kamar. And I'm just, because I almost accept the bullshit that people do. Because when you live in detriment, you living in next to abandoned houses and you had to sleep in there. Your mama a drug addict and she stole your clothes that you went to school and you know what I'm saying? Like people don't care. And it's almost like why should I care? Why? I don't have nothing to care about. I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? And she like, no, I don't think it should be like that and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I accept it. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of hard to explain, but you got to visualize it. It's almost like going down there on 27 Burleigh Center and looking at all the hopelessness and the disparity and just seeing people walk around with, they don't, they ain't got no look in their face. You know what I'm saying? And I think the difference is why with me, even though I could say I sold drugs, but I had niggas around me that had money. So I inspired for that, regardless of however I got it. I just didn't accept the hopelessness and disparity. Even though what I was doing tore my community apart and ripped people's families apart, you know what I'm saying? I can admit that, but I still didn't accept like, oh, I ain't gonna be nothing, I ain't gonna have nothing. I always strive to want more and more and more. And that's how I am as far as with my life now. I want more and more and more. But when you look at that hopelessness and that disparity and the poverty and not knowing where your next meal coming from, never been out the city of Chicago or the city of Milwaukee, I just went down to Indiana, and the reason I like to go to different places is because sometimes I get trapped in my mind where I think there is not other people outside of where I stay at. I know it's other people in the world, but I don't see it, so I have to get away from Milwaukee sometimes to feel it. You feel what I'm saying? But I don't understand how people don't understand that when you have nothing and you see nothing, of course you're going to cause a lot of chaos and despair in your life and in the community, and it be what it be sometimes.
But the counter argument to that is there are tons and tons of people who come from these situations, who persevere, get out, and establish something for themselves. There's that group who choose to, because of the conditions I've grown up in, I'm going to be antisocial. I'm going to be counterproductive. Actually, that group is small. Most black people who live in these hoods are people who want better. I want to get out of here. Like I understand this ain't good. There's people who are going to get out, but then there's that small element that say, no, come with me, enjoy my misery, right? I'm going to relish in it because I'm going to turn this into, they think I'm just out here doing what I got to do. And I think you made an excellent point that I've taken rides, and I've spoken about this on the show. When riding through the city in certain neighborhoods, I'm not going to say no particular neighborhood because I don't want to put nobody on Front Street. But you're right. The look in the faces of some of the people who live in the community, you can see it. You can see it. It's certain areas you pull in. It's almost like a awkward silence. Like you just driving through there and you just hear your car running, and you looking around and you realizing every person you see looks in some way, shape, form, or fashion kind of out of it, like zombified. Like, where does
a lot of people just get comfortable, just be like, fuck it. This is what it is. This is life right here.
That's it. There's no self-advocacy. Like that's
hey, even I always say though, it just take a decision of that individual. You know what I mean? To make that first step for themselves.
I can see how some people
they don't, it's hard when you really don't know.
There we go. That's why I'm not looking down on nobody, Kamar, because I can see how a person would be like, well, I don't know. Like I could go to them and say, well, why don't you do this and why don't you do that? They'd be like, nigga, I didn't know about that shit. Or either I don't know how to do that. A lot of people will kind of camp behind, well, I don't know how to do that. So, but you learn other stuff. You pick up on other skills.
Right.
Why not make this one of your priorities? Like, look, trying to improve myself. It's hard though. I get it. It's hard especially when it's constant negativity and constant kind of like, if you haven't gotten the ability to cleanse your environment, meaning even the people that you deal with on a daily basis. And I'm talking about close homies, partners. I got some boys who I really thought, that's my partner. He'll ride for me. That's my guy. Got to show love to the homie. And then I learned that motherfucker don't give a fuck about me. I should have been worried about me the whole time. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just not, it's not realistic expectation to think if you got a clique of 15 dudes, all 15 of them dudes is that's my guy. No, I would say probably almost half of that circle is kind of like waiting on your downfall or wouldn't mind seeing it happen.
Right.
And even the drama that your guys can bring. I always talk about, if you call me and we really out here like that, Kev, man, I need you to come get me, da-da-da. I'm supposed to be on the way to get you, right? I might not have been in shit, but because you in it, now I'm in it. So if you got somebody who's always having you in them situations, like, dude, every time I turn around, this motherfucker got me somewhere damn near finna get in a shootout, getting shot at or fighting, I'm finna stop fucking with dude. It might be hard, you know what I'm saying? But you got to be able to tell them love, bro, and be up. Like, hey, man, love you from over here, man. I got to look out for me. And so it's hard for some people to do that, Kamar, because they're codependents. Like, you know, you do this for me, I do that for you.
Right.
Like, you might
It's a
keep
lot
me.
of the homies I had to quit hanging around.
There you
I
go.
mean, they still my partners, but they know I got to quit fucking with them because I don't want to get caught up in the same shit
Yes.
that they into. And it's something I didn't discuss. You know what I mean? So you can't get mad at it. It's just about making that decision. Like, look, I ain't for this shit no more. I got to do something different, man. I got to do something better out there.
Yeah, I got to turn the corner. I would say this to brothers who really, like, it's hard too. It's hard. It's because you want to still be, you know, but you understand your new direction is probably better for you long term. And so also, like I said, that codependency of, well, I might be in some shit fucking with him all the time, but he good for putting me up on a lick or how to get some money or a hustle or something. The first thing I gotta do is say, let me make sure I can figure out a way to get my own, so I don't got to depend on him for that. You know what I'm saying? It's a complicated process, man. But it's so possible. Like, that's another thing I get from talking to a brother like Vince, who's 60 something years old, and he'll tell you, hey, man, it's about the decisions you make. A lot of people who I come up with didn't make the right choices for whatever reason. I don't want to look down on nobody. I'm just saying, man.
And then trying to come up out of that slump, make a few other bad decisions.
Try to take a shortcut.
Man, and before you know it, you fucked up in the game.
Yeah, man. That man told me, he said, everybody want to find the elevator to success, but there is no elevator. You got to take the stairs.
That's right.
I said, oh, shit.
Right.
Okay, I get it, right? So it's rough, man. Ain't nobody on here pretending like this shit ain't tough, man. And you got love for your partners. You don't want to see them go through that shit, but sometimes you can't talk a person off the cliff. It's like, bro, you gotta, man, cause I am, man. I just gotta, man, and then until it all comes to a head, right? And so
the homies like to kick it and hang out, drink all night. You know what I mean? Till 3, 4 in the morning. But shit, I got to be up at 5:36.
I don't. I just don't want to be on the street corner drinking all night.
I'm just saying, you know, what I'm saying is the lifestyle don't mix.
Right? Yeah.
You know what I mean? I got shit to do.
Yes, absolutely. Even if it's doing nothing, Kamar.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I got to do.
That's what I gotta do. You know, like they knew we standing somewhere in some neighborhood, and you know, which we used to love doing. We out here kicking it, man. Shit, roll that shit up, man. Where that drink at? Got the music on, people riding up. What up, guys? What y'all on? Now, my old ass ain't got no business out there.
No, man.
Ain't got no business out. I'm still out here. These young niggas know. Look, okay, well, that works for you. They don't give a fuck. And they let you know when they see, like, what up, old school? Right. You know what I mean? They're like, yeah, you old as a motherfucker. Yeah, man, let my senior citizen ass out. Because I get out the way. You know? There's no reason for me to. So lifestyle change is very important as well. Come on, I feel like we can put together.
Do you feel a little nervous? Do you feel a little nervous when there be a bunch of young niggas and you be at the gas station a little bit?
I don't know if nervous is the word. I think aware is probably the key for me, because if I'm driving down the street and I see
put the antennas up.
So yeah. So if I see 6 youngsters, right, walking down the street and I'm driving, my thing is to always say either they on the way from doing some bullshit or they on the way to doing some bullshit. Because if you seen us walking 7, 8 deep anywhere, we was on some bullshit. It was never like, hey, we going to feed the homeless. We going to a community cleanup. We was on some bullshit. It's like, man, so and so over here.
You know, but you know, my antennas go up if I pull up at a gas station or something and it's a grown motherfucker outside just standing.
Or a weird looking white dude.
My antennas go up.
Or a weird looking white dude too. Come on, like, what this weirdo on? Yeah,
I don't trust him either.
That's just being aware of your environment. Yeah. But I definitely do. Because you know, Now watch these youngsters, man. They a little bit different.
I think my anxiety go up a little bit though. I'll be like, man, it just make you feel uncomfortable, especially now because everybody got guns. Like back in the days, like about in the late '90s, maybe early 2000s, people that had guns like they did now. You'd be like, I wish a motherfucker would break his jaw, just tear it up.
I remember that talk. It was always what I do to a motherfucker with my hand.
Hell yeah! Now you be looking like, man, I see that little nigga got that 30 on his ass. Like the other day, I stopped at the gas station. I'm getting off of work, and I seen the guy at the gas station. So 76 a Good Hope, and I want to ask him, like, brother, why you got that gun on you, my guy? Like if you need that needs to tell you. I'm not trying to tell you how to live your life, but that needs to try to tell you that you need to change your way of living.
You shouldn't be out here. Yeah.
I mean, you living wrong.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because then the killing part about it, this is where it comes. Okay, he's smoking weed, he's driving, he got a gun. The police see him, the police kill him. Now we all up in arms, but I just seen a nigga with the gun up on his armpit.
Right.
And now it's a certain type of way they carry guns now that you gotta watch for. Like they have it on, if they got it on their hip or something, they really ain't on shit. But if they got it up under their armpit where they can grab it real quick and they got their hand on it, they on some bullshit. They trained to go. You know what I'm saying?
Or they worried about doing something to them.
Yeah, I'm like, damn, but
to your point,
I'm just like,
to your point, Deon,
it's crazy.
My memory, I would say up until the early to mid 90s, brothers didn't really have guns like that. I would say if somebody in the clique had a 380 or they had a 38, and God forbid it'd be a tech, you felt like we strapped to death. But now early 2000s, late 90s, I knew some complicated individuals who had some shit where you like, dude, why the fuck do you have that? Like some of my family members had shit where you like, that's not a 38, that's not a 380. They're like, nah, bro, this is real shit. And from there, it just went up. Like by the time it was
getting caught in a drug raid, they pulled a motherfucking gun out the ceiling. The police ain't know what it was.
I got a laser gun.
Back in the 90s, we was going to gun shows and shit.
Yeah. Brothers are strapped, man. Brothers got strapped because if my memory serves me correctly, what changed in Milwaukee was primarily that, yeah, we were fighters till Chicago dudes kind of changed it because Chicago dudes were strapped. So if you really was out here and you wanted to be in that lifestyle, you really had to be strapped. You had to be like, nah, man, I got this big 40 on me. I got this big 4.5 on me. I got this big 357. Like, brothers had.
Hell yeah, motherfucker kept a big 7 on him. I still love a 7 to this day on my mama.
So that's what I'm saying. It depends on where you was at. It depends on where you was
at. Like now you be seeing niggas with Draco. You know what I'm saying? Like say for instance, when you go down to Memphis, Tennessee, it's not abnormal. When you going in the gas station, you will see 2 or 3 niggas with a Draco on them or a drum. Now they ain't fucking with you, but this man got enough firepower to kill everybody here. Let me get what I gotta get and get on. You know what I'm saying? Let me get what I'm going to a different. You already in this.
I'm leaving. If I walk in there, I'm going right back out. Like no.
Like that's another reason why like when I be traveling and shit, I just see how. I'm like, man, these niggas down here, Dallas, Texas, Atlanta. I didn't know motherfuckers in Atlanta was strapped like that. I'm all in the Waffle House, no bullshit. Everybody in there had a gun except for me. I just want to get the fuck up out of here and get my waffles and walk back over to my hotel. I said, wow.
I've been in situations here, like just similar to what you're talking about, where I'm in a gas station or I'm somewhere, a youngster come in, and I'm like, this dude clip hanging all the way back out his pants like an antenna on a car. I'm like, wow.
Hey, when I was in Compton, at that vegan restaurant. Some nigga came in there. He had a big ass pistol on his shirt too. Hey, look, but I didn't feel threatened. I felt more like shit. He had it for his protection. You know what I'm saying?
Is it?
He didn't. It was a weird feeling. But you know what I mean? To be out of town in Compton and see a nigga with a pistol, most motherfuckers would have been scared as shit. I probably should have been nervous.
Are they is there some kind of carrying? I would have to ask Westside Zeladon. Is there open carry or some kind of carrying concealing? I don't think it is in Cali, is it?
Hey, I had no idea.
Yeah, I thought California had
I was in the middle
gun laws like New York.
You said what, Kamar?
I said, I don't know, but I was in the hood in Compton, you know what I mean? So I don't think they give a fuck if it's open carry or whatever.
Yeah, and you realize that, like you said, at least you are aware. I was in the hood in Compton.
Right.
So, this ain't no place I want to come late at night time I'm gonna give me a vegan bowl.
You
No,
know what
I'm
I'm
good.
saying?
I wait till in the morning. I'm fasting till in the morning. Fletch say, what up, family? Stay alert, no slipping, no matter what age.
Straight up.
Y'all hit up Fletch. Y'all see our brother down there. EPU Personal Defense, EPUSDS.com. Hit him up. He all about self-defense. Jeff tells me don't slip on A-Ball's lyrics. I said A-Ball was a monster too. I just think the way MJ was just, he was just a different kind of, especially cadence-wise, and then the shit MJ was saying in his rhyme.
Slick delivery.
But his content though. He's literally dropping jewels in almost every. Now you get on some crazy shit where you talking about pimping or whatever. But on a lot of their best songs, MJ is dropping jewel after jewel about life.
I give you that. Yeah. MJ was conscious.
Yeah.
He was conscious.
He was there with that. That's the perfect word for it. There was some consciousness there in which he was saying to people like, nah, man, listen to what I'm putting down. So yeah, but A-Ball, don't get me wrong. I just had out of their solo albums, the first one, MJG was No More Glory, 8Balls was Lost, and 8Balls was a double album. And it was cool.
Oh my God, that double CD with him on there with the Impala.
Yeah.
That was the shit.
But No More Glory to me was better. And it was just one album. But No More Glory was just banger after banger. You're like, oh, seriously? It's just like crazy. So I don't know. Y'all go listen. He said, who is this? This is Jeff Crape. He says, complicated is the best word ever. Shit changed. Absolutely. I know in our neighborhood it did. It changed all the way around. Because all of a sudden it was like, yo, what? Like Kamar said, sometimes you go by the homie, he has something, you be like, dude, what the fuck is that? Got this motherfucker from my cousin. I'm gonna tell y'all, the strapped-ish dudes I ever seen, was a group of dudes who was actually folk dudes, right? And I just so happened to be in a situation where I was at one of their, because I knew who the leader, I knew the boss, the top dude, right? And I went to this place he told us to meet him at, because we was finna go out, me and him and his cousin, me and June. And so I'm talking about these dudes, he wasn't there yet. So, I got the Mariner joint on. I'm to the left with it. I'm a foe. I'm going to stand on mine. I don't care where the fuck I'm at. Ain't no nigga going to tell me straighten my shit out. Please, nigga, I'm from Capital. Bruh. Man, I win this motherfucker. These motherfuckers walk around. Like, we talking about them clips, them long-ass clips and drums and all this. This is like 2000, maybe, actually about 1999. These dudes, and then when he comes finally, and, I'm like, dude, what the fuck is up with all these dudes with all these guns? He go to showing me what they actually had in there. When I say a closet full, just cases, and then there was a closet with none but ammo in it. I said, is you motherfuckers finna go to Nicaragua or somewhere? Dion said he moving Uzbekistan. I said, man, I gotta get. He was like, no, it's cool. I'm like, I gotta get up out of here, man. That's the most guns I've seen in one person's possession. That, like, I went to the crib thinking, like, man, if them dudes came over here, we had to step our game up. They had, I'm talking about AKs, ARs, MAC 10s. It was just ridiculous, man. I was like, dude, why y'all got 50 shot extended clips on y'all Glocks? Because you got to make sure we hit them.
You mind if I ask you a question?
What's that?
You mind? Because you're probably the only person that I know, and you never really touched too much on it that I hear. But how was Two Foes able to equate themselves to be like Vice Lord? Because I was confused by that when I first came up here from Chicago. Because Two Foes is BD, really. You're a black disciple. You know what I'm saying? That's Two Foes. But Two Foes equated themselves to Vice Lords here in Milwaukee.
Yeah, I got a short answer for you on that. I got a short answer.
Yes.
First of all,
what?
They weren't, and number two, I wouldn't tell you anyways, especially on the podcast.
Damn!
If me and you was face to face, we wouldn't talk about that. You know what I'm saying?
You got my telephone number, so
It's not even a conversation. No, there's no need for me. Why would I have that conversation with you though? Why would we? No,
we don't even politic like you're educating me.
No, that's some education you won't get from me. That's not the way. That's not the way, as they say. That's not how anybody in that whole atmosphere moves. They're not gonna talk about none of that with you. You know, if you ain't there, if you're not with them, they're not gonna talk about that with you. They'll look at you and laugh and say, "Listen at this dude, man. You crazy, bro." They just laugh.
I'm gonna find out though. I'm gonna find out, kid.
The only thing you're gonna find out is that none of them did. They got along with some, but we got along with them. Nobody had none of them. Vice Lords was cool. They was Vice Lords. That's really the black and white of it. Two folk come from Milwaukee.
I think that was when we was young. I think that was us, Dion, that looked at it like that.
Perhaps.
You know what I mean? I think that was us. It was more like if everybody else was ops or 2-4s. They wore their hat to the left. Vice Lords wore their hat to the left. So to us,
guilt by association, right? Guilt by association.
that might have been something we did.
Oh yeah, just straighten people out there. I don't
ever remember none of them ever saying anything about Vice Lord.
They don't.
It was different.
You're right. And you know what?
The 2-4 was about the street number. It wasn't about BD or the letters or nothing.
I will agree with you on that. You know, none of them ever said they was Vice Lords.
Yeah, that may have been us.
They had always to the left. They just had always to the left.
Most of the time, they're gonna make the distinction off top that they're not. They're gonna say off top, I'm not that. I'm not. Ain't no folk dudes. Yeah, well, look at them hooks. Ain't no hooks over here. We ain't Vice Lords. Like, I don't, we ain't finna talk about that. Dion, you got me on some bullshit. Let me get back to my chat room. We ain't talk about old Milwaukee gangs and shit. Let's talk about the Palace and skating and shit. Like, these motherfuckers got me going crazy.
Who said whoop 27?
Right. Mama Jenkins, she said they got open carry, so everyone got a piece of steel because they like peace. Oh, they got open carry in Cali? I didn't know that. He said MJG equals delivery, 8Ball equals lyrics. I got to give MJG lyrics and delivery, though. It ain't one-sided. He said great duo. Hall of Fame duo, man. I hope because they got their streams.
They doing a movie on them.
Yeah, that's going to be a good Tubi movie. I'm watching that shit.
They doing a movie on them.
It looks like it's going to be a Tubi movie.
Funny-ass curls.
Yeah.
I know damn well they ain't had no curl look like that.
Actually, MJG did. They both did. Come on.
Yeah, curls, but they didn't look like the ones on the picture what I saw.
They got the wrong actors.
They got Tyler Perry hair dudes and shit on the.
Oh, not the Tyler Perry joint.
They got Uncle Jerome
from Snowfall. Oh no.
Yeah. Only it's worse.
Mama Jenkins said in the South it's open carry. The women pack 9mm and 40 Glocks. Wow.
Yes, they do.
He said,
I said everybody was strapped.
He said Chicago shit didn't ride in the mill until it did. If you ever got into it with some Chicago dudes, some real dudes from Chicago, you had a problem. I'm just gonna say that. Them dudes was different. And so I hear everybody want to say, I ain't talking about just one. Yeah, sometimes I seen dudes popping at them from the city and they got dealt with. I'm talking about some real ones that was like, they done all came up here like 50 deep and moved in a spot in the hood, and you got to deal with them. Them dudes crazy, man. That's what I'm saying. Everybody got strapped. Like, fuck that. These dudes ain't fighting. They're not going to be playing with you.
Most of them niggas came from the projects, though. Project niggas was different than resident street niggas, because I'm a resident street nigga. Okay. And when them niggas came from the projects, project law was different. It's like, well, you don't know about Peel Hill. Peel Hill compared to like Capitol over there. Capitol, nice residential area, people own homes, but it still was, organizations amidst that. But when them niggas came from the projects, the Robert Taylors and the Outer B. Wells, they governed by a different law. You know what I'm saying? They was like up under the chairman. They had days where they shut shit down, where they had to pay dues, all that shit. So when them niggas start coming around, they just was like, oh my God, it's like a roach, and you can't get rid of them motherfuckers. And when a lot of them project niggas came up here from Milwaukee, but they was over there on 41st to Garfield, and they was giving my niggas them the flux though, but folks them was handling their business though. They wasn't backing down. I say my guy and them came out on top on that one though, because they burnt them niggas up out of there. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know.
I started respecting. At first, when I came up here from Chicago, I didn't have respect for Milwaukee niggas because it was like, I'm from Chicago. But as I started moving around a little bit more and seeing shit, oh man, you know I'm meal crazy now. I love my niggas from Cherry, 29th and Galena, over there with Tim Cunningham, them that made rest in peace, the Square.
I would just say this
in
reference to any of that stupid foolishness that we engaged in as youngsters. I've seen it go both ways. I've seen the home team take a L, and I've seen the other side take a L. And so I seen it both ways. And really, it was really about how you got caught slipping. Because sometimes you got caught slipping. And it was like, dog, this motherfucker's on my ass. Like, if you was good, you had some AA that you could locate. But other than that, that's why cats had to take L's, man. Like, that wasn't nothing I could do. They called me. Man, they listen, we got approached at Northridge one time. I still ain't stopped counting how many dudes it was. And we couldn't have been no more than 7 deep. I'm talking about these dudes had to be 30, 40. And then after they started ramping, all the other dudes in the mall who had they head to the right start. I said, damn, we about to get our ass whooped by the whole mall. It was on our heels. But my partner swooped in, man. He swooped in like a superhero. Lifted up out of there and shit. That shit was dope. It's dope now looking back. It wasn't dope when I was going through it because wasn't no cell phones. I literally had to hit him from the payphone. And like, cuz, and hang up and then move because here they come. It's crazy, man. Thank God I walked away from that bullshit. He said, Mama Jenkins said in Memphis, there's a black women's gun club and these girls got some weapons. Black women armed up everywhere. I'm scared. He said, Jeff Craig said, I'll say less. The less you say, the better off you are. He said, let it go like chocolate milk. Shout out to Earl Henny. I see you, Earl. Said, what it do, my brothers? Love us. Absolutely. Absolutely. If you listening to our Outlaw Radio, I'm assuming you just type black person that love him or herself anyways. But if you ain't, then come on in, as Kamar says. Jeff Craig said, booty green cats were different. Booty green. Now, Dion, is that some kind of Chicago? Or is he talking about Cabrini Green?
Unless he's talking about Cabrini Green. Yeah, Cabrini Green. All them projects, the Rockwell cars, the Ida B. Wells, the Henry Hornets, them motherfuckers just was, like that was hopeless and disparity, man.
Yeah, but
my elevators, you couldn't go up the elevators and shit. You get robbed in the stairwell. Man, that shit was terrible. I'm glad I didn't grow up like that.
My aunties didn't live in the projects, but their neighborhoods was sideways. When you go to Chicago, man, we was little because, my pops had actually lived there before he came here, and we had a bunch of family and still do in Chicago Heights. I don't recall us ever going anywhere where I was like, this is nice. It was always like, this is fucked up, man. What the hell going on? So that's when I used to take my son, he played AAU games in Chicago, and I would drive him around just to show him the neighborhoods. He used to be tripping. Like, Dad, look at this. I'm like, yeah, this Chicago right here. It's always been a tough thing, man. It's always been a tough place, man. He said Jeff said my fam grew up in the Greens, then it got split. Okay. Yeah, I've met some individuals who are from there, and I've had some conversations with them about it. But I'm like, Dion,
tore them down, didn't they?
Yeah, all of them. They tore them all down. They tore them all down.
Yeah, that's what fucked everything up, though.
That's what they.
You know what I'm saying? Because you had a lot of gangsters and different organizations in the projects, and when they tore them down, they gave a lot of people like Section 8 housing, and then moved them in other communities. And other communities was doing their own thing, but like I said, the projects was a little bit more structured. They ran by straight law. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't just sell dope for yourself. That's called free enterprise. You couldn't do that. You could do some free enterprise, but you got to pay dues, and also you got to get one day to Larry. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So when they moved into the different communities and shit, they start putting that law down. Other niggas like, hold on, nigga, we ain't with that shit. You know what I'm saying? And then it just be an all out,
So now,
brawl. But
did Larry Hoover have a day in court last week or something like that?
yeah, he did, man. That old pussy ass judge. They weren't gonna let Larry out anyway, man. But that old pussy ass judge gave him a continuance. He's supposed to come back in the court. The judge told him, how many people have you killed? How many people are you responsible for being murdered? And I guess his lawyer and them, they gonna, but that's some stupid shit, though. How you gonna say that man was only responsible for what he did? He can't be responsible for what other people did, other people's actions. You understand what I'm saying? So they gave him a continuance, and I guess he gonna come back with a tally on how many motherfuckers the gangster type of organization has supposedly killed. But if I was Larry, I wouldn't even play that game. I just go.
No, that's the most self-sabotaging thing. Like, first of all, there's no quantification to that because we don't know.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, you don't even know how many. But second of all, you cannot blame that on him. You can't put that on his back, man. Stop it, man.
No,
you can say, well, you started this, but his argument
maybe they talking about.
We wasn't doing that when I started it.
Hey, could they be talking
Larry,
about?
You gotta understand, Larry had been locked up since like 72, 73.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
So he had got sentenced to 200 years back then.
I remember.
Yeah, and then he was still running a criminal.
Hold on, Dion. Go ahead, come on.
I think maybe they talking about how many he could be responsible for. Like, how many people you put a hit out on type of shit. I ain't saying he did that. Right. But like maybe that's the angle they was coming at.
But even that's a dumb question. Like somebody gonna tell yeah,
it's dumb. Yeah, it's dumb. I mean, I'm just trying to figure out the context.
Yeah, like what? Yeah,
it was a stupid ass question the judge did.
What them lawyers be saying on TV? I object, Your Honor. Somebody should have said that. Jeff is saying he's agreeing with Dion. He said, yep, torn down and put cats on the west and south side. He said, brother Dion on the phone, 100% facts. He said it became a free-for-all. He said Larry Hoover's in the game 50 years ago. Absolutely. Well, like he said, he'd been locked up since 72. Mama Jenkins said, I'm glad they bulldozed those raggedy-ass projects. A lot of people lost their lives living like roaches stacked up on top of each other.
Yeah, a lot of people.
He said, Dion is speaking facts. This dude was active last time in the 70s. Yeah, we know that, but I just wanted to know because I knew he had a court date coming up. And ironically, so okay, I'm gonna kind of change the direction a little bit on the conversation because we're still getting down to this election date, and I'm glad that some of the hype has died down on this, in which we were just kind of going back and forth on each other so crazy. But what I've tried to do, instead of worrying about who's black and who's racist and who's orange and who's a 32-time felon, is to say, well, if one of these individuals is going to be in office, it's time for us to start putting together a list of things that we demand, or asks and demands, I call it. And so one of the things that they're very critical of right now is immigration. Okay. Aside from the fact that, now there's a lawsuit, they're trying to get a lawsuit against Trump because he got these Haitians in Ohio living scared and being terrorized and harassed. Did you all know that as far as these immigrants who've come in our country at this point, supposedly 425,000 of them are criminals. 13,000 documented murderers sent here from other places who were, I guess, already, locked up and, convicted of murder. The other companies are dumping them, not other companies, other countries are dumping them into the United States. And this is why we're seeing there is a marked increase in crimes committed by immigrants in cities: murder, homicide, rape. And the MS, I don't want to say their name because I don't want these motherfuckers knocking on my door. It's
MS-13.
Yeah, you said it. El Salvadorians, they're taking over apartment complexes. And so which one of these candidates is going to step in and regulate this situation? Now, we know Trump going to say, I won't let him in. I won't let him in. But they're already here.
I done see some contradicting videos of some people in Chicago. You got people that post videos Well, yeah, they out there like right there on that block where you know that apartment where that they show on the news and they talk about them taking over the apartment building. Well, they was out there, there's brothers out there, you know what I mean? Like, hell no, ain't no shit, ain't nobody taking over nothing out here.
Okay.
Like, so like I'm left wondering how real is it?
Right.
And I done saw multiple
It's,
videos of people. I done saw a couple though with some people saying, yeah, they are wild out here. But like as far as you know how they be talking about they taking over apartment complexes and warring with gangs in Chicago. Like a lot of the gangs down there, like they ain't fucking with us.
So once again, I would think that this would be a situation where instead of arguing about silly shit, these are the questions we should be asking both candidates if they're having a debate.
Right.
These should be the specific. What is the truth? What are the real numbers behind this immigration policy that's been in place that has allowed murderers and rapists and these kinds of degenerates and we just talking about antisocial individuals in the black community. We say lock their ass up, right?
Yeah, sure.
So why is it now time for them to start kicking in doors? And you say, well, I want to turn it to a witch hunt. But if there's true evidence and factual basis to any of this information, then justice should be swift.
I want to know why they worried about a wall, but they letting these motherfuckers in.
I think a lot of
Then,
that is
like you said,
basically
they are
propaganda.
criminals and shit too. Like, what the fuck is the plan here? Did Venezuela trick the United States? Like, yeah, we gonna send a bunch of people over there, and they just cleaned out all they fucked up people and sent them.
That's right. That's the Cuban crime wave from Scarface all
Like,
over again.
they tricked the United States and shit. They did it again.
This is the accusation being made, saying that these are the policies in place by President Biden and Kamala Harris. Their policy has allowed this infiltration, if you would, happen. And so I'm saying, I want to know the truth behind it, but nobody's asking where I'm able to hear that. I don't hear people make, and I guess I'm saying amongst my own people, I don't hear them asking those questions. They still talking about whether or not she's black. Right? Like, why are we, Janet Jackson and DL Hughley got beef. What the fuck? How does that happen? Ace Cooley said, you mean Venezuelans are taking over apartment. Is it Venezuelans? Okay. I stand corrected if it's Venezuelans, not El Salvadorians. I know the gang that Dion just named is El Salvadorian. I know that. So, Vince Tony said we're immigrants. I'm not an immigrant.
So you got the people from Ecuador coming over here. You got the people from Colombia, Venezuela, Honduras. A lot of those countries. It's not just one particular country. Right. And a lot of the things they're saying is basically propaganda. Because remember, not too long ago, they were saying that they were taking over a building in Aurora, Colorado, and the people from Aurora, Colorado had to come home and say, hey, where is y'all getting this information from? So a lot of this is just beefed up propaganda. But I don't really think none of them really have a solution because the United States been a sanctuary country for so long that what you gonna do? Because remember, not too long ago, it was a couple years ago when they did when they left Afghanistan and they was letting a lot of the Afghans up here. What's that Fort something? They was on the army base and they were coming up here staying. So I just look at it like there really is no solution for the immigration, and there is no possible way that Donald Trump he's going to be able to round up all these immigrants because a lot of these people are working and paying it to the tax system, So if they were to do something like that, the implications to the economy will be dire.
Well, we're not talking about taxpayers. We're talking about criminals. We're not talking about the people who are here saying, no, I'm minding my business. I'm trying to get my green card. I'm talking about, it ain't hard to tell who the offenders are. Now, I got a caller, so let me merge these calls if I can. But Vince is saying we're immigrants, and I don't prescribe to that. I don't feel like I'm an immigrant. I feel like I'm an American. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like I'm an American. Kamar, you feel like you're an immigrant?
Well, the thing is, I feel like my people was here before the boats. So I'm not an immigrant. I feel like my people was here already.
Okay.
Well, it ain't like how I feel, it's what I know.
There you go. Jeff, you on the line? Okay. I don't know what's going on. Let me clear my line. Jeff was trying to hit us. Dion was on the line. My phone is doing the jerk right now. I got a big error message from my phone. So hit me back, Jeff. I wasn't ignoring your call. Earl said, what about the bill that they was trying to pass and Donald Trump called his cronies and they got it thrown out? That could be possible too. And if that's part of the truth behind it, my brother, that's what I'm saying. That's what I don't want. I'm not. I try not to ask loaded questions. Like I'm not. When I ask a question, I'm sincere that I don't have all the facts. That's what I'm saying. I'd like to know what the real numbers now. Now, if immigration is one of the issues and we're about to elect a presidential candidate, then I feel like then I need to put myself up on what's going on with the actual immigration problem. Well, I don't know what the hell. Somebody's sending me a video, said Capitol Drive on the 80s. I don't know what the hell is going on Capitol Drive right now. If you on 80 something in Capitol, this is a monumental amount of police.
Somebody got shot on 77th.
This is crazy.
I saw something on the news about 77th in Capitol.
This is crazy. This is crazy. So it wasn't my phone. Jeff said, sorry, got a work call. Okay. My bad, Dion. I think it clicked you off and I was trying to clear the line. Ace Cooley said, no, cuz what happened was we had the great resignation from COVID. There's also a shortage of people joining the military. Not only that, Gen Z done opened up everybody's eyes to the government's bullshit, and now they need new sheep. Motherfuckers ain't falling for the political bullshit. Interesting comment.
I get it, but like, why they send all the worst? We got all the worst motherfuckers. You know what I mean?
Okay.
How did that happen?
That's okay. Thank you. I guess that's what I'm really looking for. Is there truth to the story that they are really taking all the prisoners or all the most derelict people that they got deranged and saying, we sending y'all to America? We know Fidel Castro did this, and a lot of people think Scarface, the movie, was a true story, but it wasn't necessarily a true story, but it was based on the fact that Fidel Castro did send the Miami boat people to the port of Miami, which he went to all the people he had locked up and all the people who he considered criminals and just put them on some boats and was like, y'all go ahead and go to America. Let them sail.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's the case, then I think as the president-elect, that's one of the first things you should deal with, that along with the economy. But that got to stop. That has to stop. Let me see. Dion said, man, I know. I think he's talking about, I didn't mean to hang up on him. Earl Henny said, bro, they all immigrants instead of the Indians and the people they stole. The Native Americans, what they call them? They don't call them Indians anymore. What do they call them now? What's the name of indigenous people? Vince Tony said that rhetoric. What we talking about, Vince? Lace me up, tie my shoes. What we talking about? Rhetoric. What is what rhetoric? I don't know. People, I trip out when people put like statements in the chat room. Like, you heard? I'll be like, heard what? Like, I don't know what you're talking about, man. Listen, it's 9:12 and it's Monday. I don't want to hold y'all too long because some of the shit we could talk about on Wednesday, because we will be back Wednesday. But I want y'all to pay attention to what's going on in New York with the mayor, Eric Adams, who's found himself indicted. 5 felony counts, bribery, all kinds of stuff. Man, 2024, because we're getting down to the end of the year. We're going to have to do a year review, Kamar. 2024 has been the most bustingest, outest year ever. I don't think we've had a year where...
Pat Williams said it.
He said it in the beginning of the year.
He said it.
Said it in the beginning of the year. That 2024 would be the year that everybody get bust out.
Yeah, he said a lot of people gonna get bust out in 2024.
So give me a second, Kamar. I want you to talk about your event, talk about the House of Vitality. Let me step away from a second, take a little break. We'll be right back, and then we'll close the show out.
All right. What's happening, y'all? Make sure you come to the House of Vitality. Oh yeah, Vince. I saw your video. I just missed you. I was late coming to the Fondy Market. But that's one of the things, one of the places y'all could catch me. But we was gonna talk about the House of Vitality first, right? My baby, the House of Vitality. Every Tuesday through Saturday, 11 to 7. Make sure you pull up. Right now, it's going to be fall. Well, pretty much is fall. You know what I'm saying? We need to be working on our immune systems. We need to be pumping our immune systems up. I got this elderberry syrup. With the elderberry syrup, we're gonna do shots of it daily. I got this elderberry tea. You could drink that like you want to. It's fun. It tastes great. You know what I mean? I'm gonna have it hot. Let's say Wednesday. When start Wednesday, we're gonna have it hot in the store again. A lot of people been telling me to bring it, telling me to bring it. I've been saying I'll wait until October 1st, but so many people been wanting it. I'm gonna have it Wednesday. This tea, I'm gonna tell y'all, this is the best tea you ever had in your life. Best tea you ever had in your life. I promise. Look, well, I ain't gonna promise, but I'm telling you, it's the best tea you ever had. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you pull up. Then also we got Wellness Our Way coming. We got Brother Rail. He was just on. He tapped out for a second, but we got Rail doing his emotional intelligence class. Um, we got we got John Fletcher doing his personal self-defense, EPU personal self-defense. He's got an hour. We got for the felons, we got pardons and expungements. So if you're a felon, you know a felon out there, make sure you have them up here at 12 o'clock at the Sherman Phoenix for Wellness Our Way, October 5th. Make sure you pull up. Then we also got Brother Dontre doing a guided meditation. And all this is free, y'all. All of it's free. You know what I'm saying? We ain't asking you for $1 to come. You know what I'm saying? Just come and learn other ways to be healthy. It's not just about nutrition, but you know what I mean? It's about our mental and it's about our spirit too. You know what I mean? We got to keep all three well.
There we go. Black business, black business, black business. Support that. Man, y'all be safe out here this week. We'll be back Wednesday. I'm pretty sure it's a lot of stuff that's one thing about it. Once the week gets to rolling, they get to rolling. And things pop up. But like we were saying before I stepped away, this has been a year of just too many reveals. Like, and I'm wondering, like, I don't know if Cat Williams is really that deep and just speaking, or this is just, I don't remember a year where everybody was just getting put, just like all the celebrities, all the big wigs, all of the politicians, like,
And you know, I think Cat just he's one of the celebrities, and I think a lot of celebrities knew that Diddy Day was coming. You know what I'm saying? And maybe he was the first to really go in on it publicly like that.
I ain't just talking about Diddy. I'm just like
Right.
everything just like seemed like this year, like you found out about corrupt corporate CEOs and politicians and all these kinds of like things in which cameras just because we live in this society where there's cameras everywhere and we had this internet and we had this social media, so communication is instantaneous. And I talk about the emergence of the black media now because I was just looking on Facebook and I see something obviously going on 80th and Capitol. I ain't watching the news. I ain't watched the news today. Like now you can almost get your news. Now you gotta vet your sources. I understand that. But it's just crazy to me that this year has just been like, man, show out after show out after show out. Vince says it was proclaimed that 2024 is the hour of the truth. It damn sure has been. I wonder what 2025 gonna be. Hopefully I'm there. I'm praying to even be there. Earl Henny says Supreme Court judge. Everybody, nobody's safe. Nobody's safe. It's crazy. He said the Black Congressional Caucus got exposed too with their cooking asses. It's always been kind of, they haven't been really relevant into getting anything done for us in so long. I don't expect anything out of them now. Like there's certain civil rights organizations in this city that I know have been around a long time and we all know of them and they're very name brand, but we don't even expect anything from them because they haven't done anything for so long. What'd you say, Kamar?
I said the NPS superintendent, he got exposed.
Like the feds took over the housing authority. You know what I'm saying? The county got a $19 million budget deficit. The police chief got exposed for trying to go to Texas. He trying to get up out of here. What you doing? Nothing is safe, man. Hide your kids, hide your women, hide your kids, man. But
Hey,
listen,
but
man,
Snoop got a proclamation.
Snoop does have a day here now, right?
God damn it.
Yeah, why not? Right? We got little Boosie got a day, so why not? Shit.
God damn it.
Right. It is what it is, right? Make it
Wah,
shake.
wah, wah.
There you go. I see so much silly stuff every day on social media and the internet that I don't even try to talk about all of it. There's so much stuff we don't talk about on here. People are like, why you ain't talk about this? Why you ain't talk about that? I'm like, dude, then we'd be on the air for like 4-5 hours. We just try to, to eat the fish and spit out the bones. That's all. He said, they're all the boule has been exposed as our ops as well. Fuck them. I don't know, man. I was on that boule stuff for a minute till my daughter became a Zeta. Feel a little bit different about that now. Y'all better leave them Zetas alone. Don't make us have to scrap up. She ironically, when Kamala Harris came out and was she first announced she was going to run and enter the race, she went to the event is called the Boule. And I think that's the first place she spoke at, or either she came to Milwaukee first, one of the two. But listen, man, y'all keep y'all heads up, man. And I know we are kind of predisposed to just always assuming and expecting the worst. Maybe we have to try just a little bit to try to see, the positive things in life. Like I feel like we just, as Black people, we just really expect the worst. We assume it. It's almost like we want to own that. Like the worst shit, the worst case scenario is always the Black man. And some of it might be due to the fact that you come into a situation and your mind is already made up. Right? Now, if you encounter some bullshit and you're aware, especially if you're a person who has great discernment, ain't nothing wrong with you calling that out. I'm not saying that. And a lot of times just for you to call out bullshit don't mean that you're damning yourself. You just calling a spade. No pun intended. So you just have to be aware. And even if you go into a situation with a positive outlook, don't overlook a motherfucker that's on some bullshit. But like I say, call them out. Tell them it ain't nothing wrong with you. Say, man, you already knew from your conversation it wasn't nothing happening. I'm moving forward. Meaning you not, because you on some bullshit, I'm not gonna quit. But I understand and I see it and I recognize it for what it is. Anyhow, get out there, man, and try to be great, man. Try to do something, man. Try to do something positive. Try to think a better thought tomorrow. Try to improve yourself. Because Lord knows, man, we don't have much time. And that's the example that we see right now. I'm getting old. I'm looking at all these people. I'm like, damn, how much time do I really got left? I want to try to make the best out of it. The one thing I want to be is the type of person who ain't always talking about shit, not ever doing shit, especially in terms of helping people or helping out the community. Because if I did do that, then my criticism would outweigh my contribution and I'd be a coon. I will see y'all Wednesday, man. Peace and love. Peace and love. Y'all hit up House of Vitality, man. Get y'all some elderberry.
Better come on in.
All right, now.